I mean that the long form says that every group should be self-supporting by the voluntary contributions of its members. Not everybody who goes to a meeting there, its members. And when I explain this, I kind of talk about my crazy upbringing, because for me, then it's easy to understand. So I grew up pretty blue collar, with two parents who did the best they could with very little training, and in a kind of a crazy household, where we had our own rules about how we live and who we associate with. But there were some inherent things that my parents taught me that were good. I don't say that they didn't teach me anything good. In my house, where we grow up, you don't go visit someone else without bringing something. I don't know where that started. I don't know where it came from, but it just is. And for my mother, that would mean we went to Entenmann's, which is a big budget bakery. And we were even so middle class that we would go to the Entenmann's thrift store where you get the stuff after the date is expired, right? But my mom would go over somebody else's house with something from Entenmann's. My dad would usually bring a six of Michelob or a bottle of, Irish whiskey or whatever. But it was just put in our head, that's what you do. And I think today, if someone comes to my house and they bring something, that's nice. But I don't expect them to chip in for my mortgage. And I don't expect them to pay for the food that I serve. And I don't expect them to have to clean up. They might volunteer to, but I don't expect them to. I don't expect them to vacuum the floors. I'm just thankful for their gift. Because paying for my house is my responsibility. And that's how I view AA home groups. If I go to an AA home group that's not my group, I might put $1 or $2 in the basket because I don't want to go empty-handed. I was raised that way to not go empty-handed. But I have to look, and again, if you have no money to put in the basket, we need you. But I hate that saying, we need you more than your money. I don't know where that was created, because the seventh tradition is about us needing both. Like, we don't want other people's money. So how I look at this, and I've changed my thinking about this probably 10 or 15 years ago, is I look at the amount of money I typically put in an AA basket every month. Like, how many meetings do I go to? And what do I usually put in the basket? And I want to know what that total is. Because do I want to be an egomaniac and I want to give every group lots of money? Or do I really have to give probably 3/4 of my money to my home group so that my home group is self-supporting by our members? I learned the early part of this. I used to belong to the West Side Young People's Group. That's where I was a GSR on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And we ran out of money. And at that time, AA Math, I was on a Young People's Committee. You could hold a dance on a Circle Line boat that went around Manhattan and easily make a couple of $1,000s in one night. Easily. $10 or $15 a head, you could make money. And I remember I told my service sponsor at the time, who was a past delegate, that we solved our money problem. That we were going to hold a dance on the Circle Line. And we were going to get the best AA DJ in New York. And everybody from the counties and Rockland and Connecticut, and everybody was going to come. And he told me, your group needs to end. God is speaking through your group conscience. You're not self-supporting through the voluntary contributions of your own members. And that was pretty harsh, I thought. But he was right. That We don't need to hold events so that other groups can support us. You know, one of the most misused phrases in Alcoholics Anonymous is a resentment in a coffee pot. That has created is a fellowship of so many meetings and not enough home groups. You know, when I hear somebody say in a meeting, so-and-so meeting needs support, I'm like, well, what does that mean? Does that mean that they can't be self-supporting? Well, then maybe they should think about finding a way to become self-supporting or disband. But that each group should be voluntarily self-supporting. And I'm not sure we've become a put $1 or $2 in the basket. And the seventh tradition is one of the backbones of Alcoholics Anonymous.